Hello again. Making another vlog. So today I just wanted to talk a bit about one aspect of my depression, which is the loneliness. Um, I've been feeling very lonely these past few months, and it's been really hard. Probably one of the hardest aspects of all this. And I mentioned in my last video that my girlfriend and I broke up, and that was about 5 months ago, so it's been a while, not like an incredibly long time, but I feel like, I guess I wish I was more over it than I am, but I don't think I am over it, which we were together for over 5 years, so I don't think it's crazy. Even if I wasn't depressed, I don't think it would be crazy to still be kind of broken up about it. But, you know, still sucks. We were living together. We spent a lot of time together. She was my best friend. I was more comfortable with her than literally everyone else in my life. We hung out a lot, talked a lot, shared a lot of things with her. And now I haven't seen her talk to her in, a long time. And for my own sake, I think that's good because I need to be able to move on. But it's hard having someone in your life that much a part of your life and not having that anymore. So it's definitely one part of it. But I keep coming back to the fact that I was depressed. I've gone through very similar cases of these months long depressive episodes before when we were together, and it didn't really seem to make me feel any better. Like being in a relationship, having her in my life, it was comforting, but I basically felt just as bad as I do now. I think it's harder. This time is harder because I don't have her support, but it feels very similar. So I have to think that that isn't the only factor here. And when I was depressed then, when we were still together, I also felt very lonely. And, I've kind of had trouble with like socializing, like making friends, having a little bit of feeling like socially awkward. Like that's something I've kind of dealt with my whole life. In high school, I didn't really have many friends. Um, so it's something it's just kind of a general insecurity I have, but I didn't used to be depressed about it. Something bothered me, but I was like, I'll work on it. And right before this, right after my last depressive episode ended, I resolved to work on it, and I think I was making a lot of progress. I was reaching out to people more. I started a book club, which has kind of fizzled out now, but it was like, I want to read more, and let me see if there's any my friends who are readers who I can maybe hang out with more. I was like, I took like a class, like a filmmaking class, which I was like, maybe it's another opportunity to meet other people into like film and movies. I was putting myself out there. So yeah, I think I was making a solid effort. But yeah, for the past 3 months or so, as I've been very depressed, I just haven't had the will to do any of that, and I feel very disconnected and alienated from people, from everyone, even my closest friends, which I feel bad about saying, but I don't feel particularly close to any of them right now, and it's not through any fault of their own. Like I had a friend who he lives in California. I'm in New York right now, so we're like we don't see each other very often, but we call and we like game together. And the other day, after gaming, he actually because he's one of my closer friends, so I've opened up to him about how I feel, and he wanted to check in on me because it's been a few months, and he just he asked me how I was doing, and I told him he still wasn't doing very well, and he told me he was sorry to hear that, and like I really appreciated that. He was very nice, of him to do that. And it's obvious that it's clear that he cares about me. And it's like, if all I needed, I guess, was to know that someone cared about me, or that I felt lonely because I felt like no one cared about me, it feels like that's the sort of thing that should help, even a little bit. Like, not cure it, but like would make me feel better. And it didn't, and I feel guilty about that because I care about him, and you know, I appreciated it, kind of like, but in almost in an abstract intellectual way. I was like, that is very nice and kind of him. But there was this gap, this emotional gap that I felt, that I feel with everyone now, not just him, just with everyone. And my parents, my parents have been incredibly supportive during this whole time. They call me regularly. They try their best to, comfort me and try to, help me out however they can. But I still feel this gap, and I don't know why. It makes me feel selfish. I feel guilty about it, especially when it's with people who are trying to help me. But I just feel it, and yeah, it's very frustrating. And it's probably the main thing that's making me feel so lonely. And I don't really know. I think a lot of it is just because I'm so depressed. I am very in my own head all the time, and it's kind of a uh, self-focused way of thinking and mindset to have. So it kind of inherently isolates you, I think. But the frustrating thing with all this is I like to think that I'm fairly self-aware about all of these problems, but it doesn't seem to help. Like, knowing that these are my issues don't make them any easier to solve. So I don't really know what I'm doing, frankly, talking through all this and trying to articulate myself and trying to figure out what's going on. It could be that I'm wrong. It could be that maybe I still haven't, I guess, totally figured out exactly what's going on, and maybe the process of doing this will help me do that. Or maybe I'm just going in circles, and all of this is kind of an exercise and kind of, just a masturbatory exercise in making it feel like I'm doing something productive. When in reality, I'm just kind of retreating to my comfort zone of intellectualizing about the problem without actually solving it. Let's hope it's not that, because I think I'm going to keep trying to make these vlogs. But yeah, long story short, I feel lonely. I feel disconnected from people, even when they try to connect with me, and that makes me feel bad. And I don't know what to do. Which is going to be a theme of a lot of these, is I don't know what to do. But yeah, at least I get to talk about it a little, and maybe other people will hear it, and that might be nice. So yeah, that's it for this video. Yeah, hope I feel better soon. And if you're not feeling great either, and you're watching this, I hope you feel better soon too. Okay.